This is the BMW M340i, and in today's video I'm going to be telling you why this is the best BMW that you could buy to make big power and to modify and do all those crazy things. Now this is my 2020 BMW M340i, and I've had it for about 2 years now, and over those 2 years I've built it up to make 500 horsepower to the wheel. And I want to explain 3 reasons why this is the best BMW to build if you want to modify your car and make big power. Now starting off with the engine, this M340i has the legendary B58 engine, and if it isn't legendary already, it will be in the future. Which brings me to the first reason why the M340i is the best BMW that you can build right now, and that is because of the endless tuning potential that this engine has. Now, once upon a time, BMWs were known for being one of the most unreliable cars that there were out there. The memes and the jokes on the internet literally never ended, because yes, BMWs did have insane issues like rod bearing issues, random plastic cracking, and tons of other issues that are just too much to name. But the B58 single-handedly ended that. This engine has been so reliable for me, so much that I've driven it from New York City to Florida and back, and New York City to Nashville, Tennessee and back within just a few months, 2 trips that added up to almost 5,000 miles. And this car handled it perfectly. 0 issues, 0 check engine lights, nothing felt weird, the entire car felt great. But as for the endless tuning potential of this engine, you can see that I have still the stock intake in here because the intakes on these cars don't really do much. They're really just for added sound. I do have an FTP charge pipe on here, which is a little bit more for aesthetic, but it is for reliability as well. Over time, the stock plastic charge pipe on these cars are known to heat up and potentially even crack, so just for reliability concerns, I added the FTP charge pipe in there. It also does make the car look pretty nice with the red. And you can also see that I don't have an engine cover on here, and that's because this engine runs really hot, like I said earlier. So just to help a little bit of heat dissipate a little quicker, I just took off the engine cover, and you can see all the little spaghetti wires under here that look like a crazy computer. I've got these strut bars from Burger Motorsport that help the car handle a little bit better. And a couple of things that you can't see that I have on here are a catless downpipe, a Valvetronic exhaust, which I'll be showing you later, a turbo heat shield cover to keep that heat away from the intake manifold. And as for performance, that's really about it. All it takes is something like a $300 catless downpipe on here and a few thousand for an ECU tune. And just like that, you're making something like 500 horsepower to the wheel. And that is the first reason why the M340 is the best BMW that you can build right now to make great power. Now, the second reason that the M340 is an awesome car to build right now is because of the price. Now, I originally bought this car about 2 years ago for somewhere around $50,000, and I actually traded in my A90 Toyota Supra for it, which by the way has the same exact engine, but that car is only rear-wheel drive. This car comes in rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. But nowadays, you can get something like this for around $35,000 to $40,000. And this car is almost fully loaded. I think there's only maybe 1 or 2 things it doesn't have. Like, it doesn't have laser lights, it doesn't have like the executive package, I think. But if you want a fully loaded M340i, you can find that with decent miles for around $40,000. And other more affordable trims cost way less. Seriously, for 35 to 40 grand, what other car can you buy right now that you can modify with a few $1,000s in mods and make that much horsepower? In something like a Subaru or most JDM cars, to get 400 or 500 horsepower to the wheel, you're spending something like 10 grand. And those cars cost about the same amount as this car does right now. Car depreciation isn't always bad, because that means that you can get a car like this for insanely cheap. And if you have a little bit more to spend, then go for something like a 2023 Plus with the updated interior and the updated facelift exterior, which in my opinion looks absolutely beautiful. So for 35 to 40 grand, what other car are you getting that looks as good as this? Yeah, I know I put some different mods on it, but it looks so good. I mean, this thing looks so aggressive. By the way, that diffuser is from eBay, so it wouldn't cost you much if you wanted to put it on there. But with simple mods like a carbon fiber spoiler, maybe a diffuser, a good set of wheels, this thing looks beautiful. Seriously, for $40,000, name a car that looks as good as this does. And the last thing before we take it out for a ride that makes the M340i the best BMW that you can buy right now to make big power is the practicality. I mean, this thing is a 4-door, so it's so easy to live with. I mean, take a look at how much space you have back there. You have all this space for the whole family, to the point where you don't even need to buy a daily driver, because this thing is in itself a daily driver. And take a look at the front here. I mean, come on, you've got comfortable seats, you've got tons of space, there's tons of storage room, you even have a bunch of room in the trunk. Look at that, a power trunk right there, a bunch of room. Look, I've got a huge 5-gallon water in the back, my gym bag, grocery bag. What can't you fit in this trunk? So not only is the M340 an awesome car to build because it's so cheap and so cheap to modify, but it makes great horsepower too. Like I mentioned before, I have only bolt-on mods on this. An intake and exhaust isn't necessary, but it will make the car sound a whole lot better. With only a downpipe and something like an E50 tune, you're making 500 horsepower to the wheel. And with all-wheel drive to put that power down, this thing is pretty fast. So let's go take it for a ride and see how fast it really is. All right, so we're driving the M340i. Now, this car is a great car. It's a great driving car. One of the biggest things that makes it a good driving car is that it picks up so quick. Like this thing, when you modify it, it has over 100 more torque than horsepower. So since I'm pushing about 500 to the wheel, I have around 600 torque, which is an insane figure if you really think about it. Because what a lot of B58 owners will tell you is that it's not the horsepower that gets you, it's the torque. Now, I think one of the things that I don't like about the M340i is the way that it handles. This car doesn't handle like an M car, and that's because it isn't an M car. And to me, that's fine. That's not really something that I'm complaining about. I'm not complaining that it doesn't handle well. In fact, if you put on the strut bars like I showed you earlier in the front, and you put on some H&R springs like I have, this car will handle a lot better than it would if it were stock. So something like springs or coilovers and even those strut bars will dramatically increase the way that this thing handles. Now, here's why I think that this car is a better car to modify than the BMW M3. Everyone knows by now that the M3 makes some insane horsepower numbers with just bolt-ons alone. You can get something like 750 to 800 horsepower, maybe to the wheel with that car, with just basic bolt-on modifications. But the thing with that car is that it's 100 grand to buy. That car is insanely expensive. So why would you go out and buy an M3 or an M4 for 100 grand when you can get something like this for way cheaper? Yes, the M3 and the M4 are a lot better, and they will make more horsepower and they will be faster. But out of the top 5 or 10 fastest BMWs in the world, most of them are B58s, and a few of them are M340s. Some of them are M240s. And like I said before, if you want a coupe version of this car, the M240 is the way to go. But the M3s and the M4s and the S58 engine in those cars don't have nearly as much torque as this car, which makes this car actually pick up off the line a lot quicker than a stock M3. And you will be faster than a stock M3 or M4 with this car. So instead of spending 100 grand on one of those cars, pick up one of these for like 40 grand, put some bolts-on mods on it, and boom, you're just as fast as one of them. Now, don't get me wrong, I still want an M3 or an M4, but I'm having trouble really justifying it and saying that that car is worth double the price that this car is. Because I don't think it is. Because I really don't think it's worth double the price. For better handling and maybe not so good styling, depending on how you feel about the big nose on the M3s and M4s, yes, it has better tech. Yes, you can switch it from all-wheel drive to rear-wheel drive. Whereas these cars, they either stay in rear-wheel drive or stay in all-wheel drive. But are you really getting 50 grand more worth? And that's the debate that I keep having with myself. I want to upgrade to an M3, but I'm saying, is it worth the extra 50 grand? I don't know. I don't know, and that's only a choice that you can decide for yourself. For me, I think I'm fine with what I have right now because I've built it enough to be plenty fast. So what am I really getting when I upgrade, you know? I think if you have 30 grand, 40 grand, 50 grand, or you want to spend that amount and finance it, no matter what it is, the M340 is the way to go if you want to build a fast BMW. Gone are the days of unreliable BMWs, and now is the days where BMWs take over the car scene for tuners and people who want to modify their cars. So with all that being said, I think that definitely makes the M340i the best BMW that you can buy to make big power. Between the reliability, the price, how much it costs to modify, there is no other BMW that comes close to the deal that you're getting with this car. And if you're looking for a coupe version, you can get something like an M240. If you're looking for a bigger car, get something like a 540, because all these cars are almost the same exact thing. Even an M440 or an M440i Grand Coupe, those cars are extremely similar to the M340i, but I think that the M340 kind of has the best of everything. It's the perfect size, it's got 4 doors. I don't think that there's really much that you can hate about this car. So I think it's safe to say that the BMW M340i is the best BMW that you can buy to make big power in 2024. So if you've enjoyed this video, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and comment down below what your favorite BMW is, and if you think the M340i is the best BMW that you can buy right now. As always, guys, I'm Ryan from Gears and Gains, and I will see you in the next one.